Hello and welcome to another episode of the Albion Academy series. Today's episode will be about the map itself that you will find in the world of Albion. I'll be going through the different zones and biomes that you will find in it and what's different between them. Hopefully this will give you some new insight and knowledge of how to progress in the game. So first off, when you finish the last quest on the tutorial island, you're given the option to choose between 5 different starting locations on the Royal Continent. I'll be going through each one of these one by one to explain what's different between them. The Royal Continent itself is one of 2 existing landmasses in the world together with the Outlands. Each location also takes you to one of the 5 currently existing biomes that you will find in the world. We have the Highlands, the Steppe, Forest, Mountain and Swamp biomes. Each biome is rich in 3 resources, and as we go through them, the first resource mentioned will be the most common, and the last one the least common. Each biome on the Royal Continent also has a faction city connected to it with its own access to the second landmass, the Outlands. So starting off with the Highlands, here you'll find stone, ore and wood resources and the faction city of Martlock. The Steppe biome is where you'll find hide, fiber and ore resources and the faction city of Bridgewatch. The Forest biome is where you'll find wood, hide and stone resources and the faction city of Limhurst. The Mountain biome is where you'll find ore, stone and fiber resources and the faction city of Fort Sterling. And the last one is the Swamp biome where you'll find fiber, wood and hide resources and the faction city of Thetford. You can also see what resources spawn in the specific zone you're in by pressing M to bring up your map. On the upper right corner you can see the resources highlighted as well as the lowest and highest tiers spawned. You can also see the resource enchantment rate beside it, and hovering your mouse over the icon itself brings up the complete list. Albion Online does not only consist of different types of biomes but also different zones with different PvP rules enforced within them. We have the safe zones, also known as the blue zones, yellow zones and red zones that can be found in the Royal Continent, and we also have the black zones that are found in the Outlands. Safe zones or blue zones are the lowest tier locations within the world of Albion Online. There is no open world PvP within any safe zone as you're unable to flag for PvP combat. This changed somewhat after the Merlin update, which introduced a new faction warfare system. Next up is the yellow zones, which offer PvP combat but in a very limited fashion. In order to attack another player within a yellow zone, you must flag for PvP combat. This can be done by pressing the blue shield on the upper left corner next to your name and health bar. Once flagged, you will be able to attack other players, but be careful, however, as any flagged or unflagged player may now attack you as well. If you're attacked and your hit points are reduced to 0, you will be knocked down. A downed player will remain on their knees for 3 minutes before getting up and lose 30% of all resources in their inventory and suffer 10% durability loss on equipment. So, in a yellow zone you are unable to be killed or looted by another player, but you can still lose sustainable amount of materials should you get downed. Next up is the red zones. Red zones are the first hostile zones you will encounter in the world. In order to attack another player within a red zone, you must flag for PvP combat as we did in the yellow zone, so on the upper left corner on the blue shield. The difference between the yellow and the red zone is that you now ventured into a zone with full loot death, meaning should you die, you lose anything you had with you at the time of death. As you might have noticed, PvP in yellow and red zones will affect your reputation. This can be bypassed if you're in an unrestricted zone that you will find surrounding chests, territories, hellgates or larger contested PvE areas. You can also see how many players are flagged by checking the number on the minimap on the bottom right corner. It's the number on the left of the name of the zone that you're in. Last but not least, the black zones. The black zones can only be found in the Outlands of Albion, accessible via the different realm gates in each city. Martlock will give you access to West Anglia, Bridgewatch and Thetford to Central Anglia, and Limhurst to East Anglia and West Cumbria. Fort Sterling will give you access to Central Cumbria, and via the Carleon Realm Gate, which is the capital of the Royal Continent, you will find access to East Cumbria and whole of Mercia. In the black zones, you're able to attack anyone and everyone that you see outside of your party, guild or alliance without being required to flag for PvP combat. There is no penalty for killing other players in the black zones, and if your hit points are reduced to 0 in a black zone, you die. Simple as that. You lose everything you have on you. And that was it, my take on the different zones, biomes and maps in the game. Hopefully you found this guide helpful and interesting, and you can stay tuned for more by pressing the subscribe button below. We have some interesting patch notes coming up with the expansion of Outlands, and in the future a possible remake. I for one am looking forward to this. Please comment what you think on the comment section below. Thanks for this time and have a great day as always.